Hello and welcome back to another podcast and YouTube video from Fantasy Football Scout on Euro 2024. My name is Ed. You can follow me on Twitter at _FantasyEd, and I'm going to be your host throughout the summer. There's already a bunch of videos we've made, how to play, my first couple of drafts are up there, a bunch of other stuff as well, so go back and watch them if you haven't. If you haven't even made a team yet, click the link below. If you haven't joined our league, do that. The code is below. What are we looking at today? We're looking at the predicted lineups for groups A and B. So that includes, in fact, I will tell you who that includes: Germany, Scotland, Hungary, Switzerland, Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania. I thought it would be a bit much to do them all in one video, so we're going to go through those 8 teams, because this is what we want to know, right? We need to know who's going to be starting so that we don't pick players who are benched or not even make the bench. Oh no, everyone makes the bench, don't they? Not even make the squad, I suppose. I don't know. Now, it's worth saying, I am recording this before any of the international friendlies, kind of pre-Euro 2024 friendlies kick off. They kick off tonight. Scotland are playing tonight. England are playing tonight. So we'll obviously learn more as those friendlies happen. And these predicted lineups, they definitely won't be 100% correct, but we've done our best to work it out. In fact, the person who's done these, I can blame him if they're wrong, is at FPL Reaction on Twitter. He's a really good guy. He writes for our friends at Fantasy Football Community, and he's done loads of great articles on there, so please do go and look. He is the sort of guy, by the way, who watches every game of football in existence, every league. I do a Champions League, I'm in a Champions League group chat with him about the fantasy football in the Champions League, and he records every game, watches them, and sometimes watches them again. He is, clinically insane, I think is the word. So anyway, he's done his research. None of these picks are kind of flippant picks. He knows he would have an argument for every single one. He might be wrong, but he's got an argument for everyone. So thank you, FPL Reaction. Lewis, his name is. Let's get cracking. So the first team we're going to look at is, of course, the hosts, Germany. Now, Germany, I've said in other videos, are a difficult team, I think, to pick from. I know that their form going into this tournament hasn't been incredible. They've lost 5 of the last 12, I think, but they did sack Hansi Flick, their manager, and since then I think they've beaten France, and they've looked a bit better, right? But the issue for me with Germany is who to pick. There's not one standout player that you think is going to score the goals. It's like, with England, you've got Kane. If you pick Kane, he's probably going to be involved. With Germany, it's like, well, do you go... look at the team here. Musiala, Wirtz, Havertz, Gundogan is on penalties, I think. Kroos has had a great end of the season with Real Madrid, hasn't he? I know he's not traditionally someone who gets loads of attacking returns, but we've seen some great assists from him in the semi-final and things like that. Even, Sane's not even in the predicted 11 here. So, let's just go through the team for those listening on audio podcast. The Germany predicted team from Lewis, he's pretty confident on this one. He thinks it's going to be Neuer in goal, Tah and Rudiger, the centre-backs, which I think has kind of been confirmed by the manager. Kimmich, right back. Mittelstadt, this left back. Wunderkind, who he's only 4 million in the game, and his ownership is rocketing because everyone's realising he might be this left back starting for the hosts at 4 million. Absolute bargain. Kroos and Andrich in those sort of centre midfield holding. Gundogan in the middle of those two, maybe pushing forward a bit more and on penalties. Wirtz on the left, Musiala on the right, and Havertz in that position up top that he's played so well actually recently for Arsenal. His form has kind of turned a corner since sort of February, hasn't it? And he's scored a decent amount of goals for Arsenal. Will that translate into this Germany team? Well, it's hard to tell. With their form, as I said, particularly, they're the hosts, so they haven't had to qualify. So they've had no competitive football for 2 years, pretty much, apart from a bit in the Nations League, I guess, I think. So they've only had friendlies, so it's quite hard to just get a grasp on what they're going to be like. But anyway, that's the team that Lewis is predicting. He's predicting Sane won't make it. But again, caveat that with injuries, caveat that with... let's see what happens in the friendlies before the tournament. Let's see what the manager says as we get closer and closer to Euro 2024. By the way, here is the code to join the league. So please do that. Over 2,500 people. There will be prizes, yet to be confirmed, but there will be prizes for those that win. And please like and subscribe to this channel and smash the like button and put some comments if you disagree with any of these predicted lineups. But that's Germany. I don't know. At the moment, in terms of, because obviously we're looking at predicted lineups, but we need to make a comment on the fantasy assets, right? I've got Mittelstadt. A lot of people have who are playing the game, because if you can get a 4 million starting defender for the hosts who you expect. I mean, it's Germany, right? They can always do well in tournaments. Then you're not going to turn that down. So Mittelstadt, unless it turns out that he's not going to be playing for them, then there you go. We'll take him out. But at the moment, he's in. Other than that, I currently don't have any Germany players. I know a lot of people have Wirtz. Quite a few people have Gundogan because he's on penalties. I currently have none because I just don't know which one to pick. You could pick Wirtz, but Musiala gets a brace. You could pick Musiala, but Gundogan gets a brace. You could pick Gundogan, but Havertz gets a brace. It's just, you can't. It's very hard. And I also think, actually, that opening game, Germany versus Scotland, is going to be closer than people think. I think people have got triple Germany, thinking they're going to blow Scotland away. Scotland, I know their last 4 or 5 games haven't been great, but their qualification campaign, with Scott McTominay scoring 7 goals and 1 assist in 8 qualifying games, they're not to be messed with. And I wouldn't be surprised if Scotland score. I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, in my prediction video I predicted it's going to be a 1-1 start in that opening game. But remember, key thing as well about these Germany and Scotland lineups particularly, we will see the lineups to the first game before the deadline. Because unlike other fantasy games, the deadline for Euro 2024 fantasy is at kickoff. So the lineups are announced an hour before. We'll have that hour before kickoff where hopefully the site doesn't go down. UEFA are pretty good, so I don't think it will. But we'll have an hour before kickoff to make changes, to make sure, if we suddenly see Sane starting and Musiala doesn't or whatever, we can make those changes. So not to worry too much. But again, just to reiterate, Neuer in goal, Mittelstadt left back, Tar and Rudiger centre backs, Kimmich right back, Gundogan, Kroos and Andrich in the middle, Musiala right, Wirtz left, Havertz up top. Might share some time with Füllkrug, who's obviously done well at Dortmund. Unlucky to him in the Champions League final. But there you go. That's Scotland. Let's move on to Germany. No, hang on. That's Germany. Let's move on to Scotland. Got that the wrong way around. Here we go. So, now the Scotland team that did so well in qualifying, particularly at the start. They beat Spain. Scott McTominay, as I said, had an absolutely incredible qualifiers. I think he was the 4th top scorer, and he's in my team. He's in my first draft at the moment, McTominay. I might be captaining him. I'm thinking of doing that in that first game to be a bit different. Obviously, with this game, with the captains, you got this element of stick or twist, and you got a kind of. It's really we're going to get 5 chances of getting a right captaincy in the first match day. So why not go a bit rogue in the first one? Because if you don't get it, you've still got Mbappe to fall back on, Kane to fall back on, Ronaldo to fall back on, if you've got those players. So this is the team. Let me read it. I know you can see it on YouTube, but again, for the podcast, and just to make clear, Gunn in goal, Robertson kind of left wing back, Tierney left centre back, Hendry centre back, Porteous right centre back, and Ralston right wing back. McGregor and McTominay in the middle, Christie on the left, McGinn on the right, and Adams through the middle. Now, that Adams slot through the middle, and he hasn't actually played that much football for Scotland recently because of injuries and stuff like that. But his kind of big competitor for that position was Lyndon Dykes, and he's actually just been ruled out of the tournament. He's been injured in training for them, which imagine that. Particularly if you're a Scottish player and you've been dreaming of representing your country, going to a tournament. They've qualified, obviously, for 2 Euros back-to-back, 2020 and 2024. He's getting ready to go. Yes, he might be behind Adams, but he's going to get some game time. And then in training, you do whatever I don't actually know what he's done, but he's been ruled out. That must be absolutely gutting, so thoughts go to him. But this is the team. And, I've said it 4, 5, 6 times. Everyone's talking about it. McTominay, and McGinn, both of them, good options. McGinn probably on penalties. McTominay's going to be in my team. I'm not going to have anyone else from this Scotland team in my team, but I just think McTominay at 6.5 million, 4th top scorer in qualifiers, I think, or 5th. He got 7 goals. Let's try and remember, actually. I think it's Lukaku got 14, Ronaldo got 10, Mbappe got 9, Kane got 8. Yeah, McTominay got 7. So 5th, whatever that was. Can't remember. But again, Gunn in goal, Tierney, Hendry and Porteous kind of centre-backs, Robertson left wing-back, Ralston right wing-back, McTominay and McGregor in the middle, McGinn right, Christie left, Adams up top. I suppose you could go rogue and go for like a Christie pick or something, but I think most people playing the game are either going to have McTominay, they might have McGinn. I wouldn't go near a Scotland defender for obvious reasons. I think they will concede against teams like Germany, even teams like the other teams in their group, Switzerland and Hungary. I could imagine them scoring against Scotland. It's just whether Scotland are going to have enough firepower going forward to make a real difference. But that's the Scotland team according to FPL Lewis. Now let's go to Switzerland, who are obviously in Group A as well. Now we're moving into teams we're not going to see their starting opening lineups before the deadline. So now it gets really important. As I said, Scotland, Germany, really, their starting lineups, we don't really need to know because we can make changes last minute if we have to for that opening game. But Switzerland and Hungary, let's have a look. So here's Switzerland. So Let me read it for, again, podcast and for everyone. Sommer in goal. Inter Milan Sommer, good keeper. Had a really good tournament last time. Has had a really good Champions League with Inter. And he's won the league with Inter. A top keeper, right? Rodriguez left wing back. Vidma right wing back. Shah, Akanji and Elvedi centre backs. Xhaka and Freuler defensive mid, sort of centre mid. Shaqiri just in front of them. And then Varga and Okafor up front. Now, this is a player I've talked about 50 times probably already in the videos. You're going to get sick of me talking about him, but Akanji has been in every draft I've had so far. He's £5 million. He has the second most ball recoveries in all of qualifying at something like 75. So again, to reiterate, I know you know this, but I don't want to patronise you, but every 3 ball recoveries in this game gets you an extra point. If he's picking up 8 or 9 ball recoveries a game, he's getting 3 extra points. And even if they lose their clean sheet, which, Switzerland, I'm not backing to do that well, but even if he loses his clean sheet, he's still going to be racking up 2-3 extra points a game. So if he gets a clean sheet and he gets them, and we know, from Man City, maybe not as much in the Switzerland team, but at Man City, we've seen him score goals, we've seen him get assists. So, Akanji, he's in my team. He's going to be in a lot of teams because he is a really, really interesting asset. You've got other players like Shaqiri's probably on pens. Is he still going? Yes, Shaqiri is still going. You've got Rodriguez, left wing-back. He's been really popular in the past, an attacking wing-back who, we know the value of wing-backs in this game. And then you've got, the other players. I mean, I'm a Newcastle fan, so Fabian Schär is always tempting me because he's got a great goal-scoring record this season and for Newcastle. And even, I think in Switzerland, I think he's got, 4 or 5 goals. I remember he scored before Newcastle bought him. I think he did really well at the, what must it have been? 2014, 2016 tournament, something like that. And we got him only for £3 million. And how good has he been the last 2 seasons for Newcastle? So, and he can always get an attacking return from corners, from long shots. He's an absolute Rolls Royce of a player. People don't realise, who aren't Newcastle fans, how good he is. Absolutely unbelievable, right? So he always tempts me. Sommer in goal, I think he's 5 million. I just think there's better options because I think he's great, but I think Switzerland will concede goals. So yeah, again, Rodriguez left wing back, Vidma right wing back, Shah, Akanji and Elvedi in the middle, Sommer in goal, in the middle of defence, sorry. Xhaka, Freuler, centre mid, Shaqiri, Varga and Okafor is the predicted lineup from FPL Reaction Lewis. Let me just remind myself there because I'm a bit confused with this because let's just have a look. Amdouni is not in Lewis's predicted lineup, and he scored six goals in qualifying, I think, which confuses me a little bit. It makes me think, because Lewis isn't an idiot, so he'll have a reason for not putting Amdouni in. In fact, I'm going to quickly pause here, and I'll come back. Okay, I've just spoken to Lewis. He says he's spoken to some Switzerland fans who don't think Amdouni is going to play, even though Amdouni played 10 games in qualifying and got 6 goals. He thinks Okafor is ahead of him in the pecking order. I'm confused by that. I don't agree. I'm going to go against FPL Reaction here and against this graphic on screen and say I think Amdouni will start. I don't know how. He's the 7th top scorer in all of qualifying. So I don't know who he's going to start for there. I guess the action point here is let's look at the friendlies and see what happens. Apparently Mbolo as well is on the verge of coming back. So a bit of uncertainty there up top. I just spoke to him literally. I was like, why wouldn't he start? Apparently he spoke to Switzerland fans and I don't know. But anyway, so look out for Amdouni. I thought he was kind of nailed on after his performance in the qualifiers. 6 goals again in 10 games. Played 10 games. Why would he suddenly not start in the tournament? I don't know. But so keep an eye on that. But anyway, that's Switzerland. Definitely worth going and checking that out, I think. Let's move on to the second team in group. The final team in Group A, Hungary. Here you go. So we've got here Gulaxi in goal, Orban, Sazalai, Lang centre-backs, Kerkez left-back, Nigo right-back, Nagy and Styles centre-mid, Szoboszlai, their talisman, on the left, Varga through the middle, and Salai up top on the right. Now, the interesting thing about Hungary, and I've mentioned it a few times, haven't I, is they had a really, really good, as we all remember, Euro 2020 tournament. They were in a group with Germany, with Portugal, and with France. And they drew with Germany and France, I think, and then got beat by Portugal. But they didn't get blown away by these big teams, right? So I watched every goal that they scored in qualifying, because you can do that on the UEFA website. Everything goes through Szoboszlai. He's on pens. He takes all the set pieces. He's just there absolute beating heart of their team. Wales had Gareth Bale. They've got Szoboszlai, right? Everything is just about him. So and 7 million. He's been in every draft I've had so far, Szoboszlai. Because I think Hungary, again, they're a tidy team. They're a neat team. They're a pretty hard team to beat. And I think Szoboszlai is going to have a good tournament. I think, you get these players, don't you, where he hasn't been kind of explosive at Liverpool, has he? But he's been good, but he hasn't been explosive. But when he joins his country, I feel like it's going to go well. I haven't actually got anyone else from Hungary. However, it's worth pointing out, there is a bargain, 4 million starting defender at Hungary, and I think it is it Nigo or is it Lang? It's one of those two. It's in my bargain video. It's one of those guys. But basically, I'm not going to go and check now. But if you look at the on the app or on the the website at the Hungary defenders, one of them is 4 million, and he's pretty nailed on to start. Got 50-60 caps sort of thing. I can't remember whether it's Nigo, Lang, or can't remember. But anyway, so worth looking at. And they were defensively very sound in Euro 2020. So could it be worth getting one of their defenders if it's a bargain? Yeah, it could be. It's not stupid. So that's Hungary. Again, I can't say these names, sorry. Sorry if you're Hungarian. Please, correct me on this. Gulaxi in goal. Orban Szalai, which is Szalai for anyone on the podcast. And Lang, centre-backs. Kerkez, we know him from the Premier League. Left wing-back. Nigo, right wing-back. Nagy and Styles. Centre mid, I don't think that's Harry Styles, I think that's a different one. Szoboszlai left wing, Szalai right wing, and Varga up front. So worth considering. That, everybody, is Group A. We'll have a quick break and we'll come back to look at Group B. So let's move on to Group B, and we'll start with Spain. I'll read the teams. Simon in goal, Grimaldo left back, Laporte and Lenormand centre backs, Carvajal right back, Champions League winner. Rodri at the base of that midfield with Ruiz and Pedri ahead of him. Yamal on the right, Williams on the left, and Morata through the middle. Now, there are a couple of things to just mention here about that lineup. Obviously, Gaia is injured, who probably would have taken that left-back slot. It makes it a bit trickier to call, but Grimaldo is probably going to be the one that slots in there. He's kind of been traditionally more of a left wing-back, but he's been in a flat back four before, and he's a good player, and he's probably going to take up that starting position. The person who might offer a bit of competition is Cucurella, Chelsea's Cucurella, in that left-back slot, but I think it's going to be, and so does FPL Reaction, it's going to be Grimaldo. Notice Simon in goal. Quite a few people have picked David Raya. Probably Premier League fans have picked David Raya as the at 5 million as the starting keeper for Spain in the game. But it's going to be, I think Unai Simon is going to stick with him, 5.5 million as the keeper. So do not pick Raya, would be my suggestion. Watch him now go and start. But no, we think it's going to be Unai Simon. Ruiz there, really good end to the season in centre mid there. The only one that sort of might share minutes or might pip the position over him. Ruiz is 6.5 million, but Mikel Merino, who's had a fantastic season at Real Sociedad, he's 0.5 less than Ruiz. He might pip him, but we think Ruiz is going to start. So there you go. Obviously, you've got Rodri, who we think is on penalties. To be confirmed, I think he took Spain's last penalty, and he's in my draft. 6.5 million. He's got 9 goals, 8 assists for Man City this season in the Premier League. He is a ball recovery magnet. He could be on pens. I mean, he could be the bargain of the tournament if all of that is true and all of that comes to pass. So really, really good pick there. Gavi is injured and not going to make the tournament, I think, or make the latter stages of it or something like that. I can't remember. But Pedri is obviously going to be there. In terms of the front three, Morata will be through the middle. He got 4 goals in 6 games that he started in qualifying. Yamal, 16-year-old at Barca, seems pretty set on starting there. Please correct me if that's wrong, any Spanish fans here, but I think Yamal is going to start. The other side is currently Nico Williams on the left there. There are a couple of others that could sort of take these wide positions, like Oyarzabal, I can never pronounce his name, Real Sociedad, has had a fantastic season. You know, he's been a good pick in UCL Fantasy, actually, if you've played that, but he's had a really good season. Then you got Dani Olmo as well, who we know what he can do. So yeah, the wide positions, either side of Morata are maybe a little bit up for grabs. But at the moment, again, let's keep our eye out on the friendlies. But here you go. This is the team. Is this the breakout tournament for Yamal? You know, he's obviously doing incredible. I think he played over 50 times for Barcelona last season at 16 years of age. Incredible stuff, right? And with these great generational talents, they always have these breakout tournaments, don't they? I think Rooney 2004. I think Gaza 1990. They're just the English ones, right? Let's think of another one. Mbappe in when did he break out? 2020 or 2018? 2016. I can't remember. You know the point I'm making. Yamal, is this his turn, right? So that's the team. I'll just read it again. Simon in goal, Grimaldo left back, Laporte and Lenormand centre backs, Carvajal right back, Rodri at the base of that midfield with Ruiz and Pedri with him, Yamal on the right, Williams on the left, and Morata up front. Morata could be a good pick, He's always getting goals. I think he's only 7.5 million, or is he maybe 8? The only issue with picks like Morata, like Havertz as well, like these strikers that are just below this elite level of Kane, Mbappe, Ronaldo, Lukaku, who was the top scorer in qualifying, is just the fact that there is 3 slots and there's Kane, Mbappe, Ronaldo, and Lukaku. Who are you going to drop? I'm struck. I wish I had 4 slots just to put those 4 in, but I can't. So yeah, Morata though, if you're going to be a bit different, why not go for Morata? Although again, this group is one I'm trying to avoid mainly because it's tricky to call. Spain, Croatia, and Italy all in the same group. I know there's then Albania who are maybe less favourites to go through, the least favourite to go through in that group. But it's a tricky group to call, and it's hard to know who to back, I think. But anyway, let's move on to Croatia. We've just been talking about them. Let's move on to Croatia. Here is the Croatia team. I'll just read it. Livakovic in goal, Sosa left back, Gvardiol and Sitalo centre back, Stanisic right back, Modric, Brozovic, Kovacic centre mids, and then Maya, Ivanusic either side of Kramaric. So Perisic, 35 years old now, probably on the bench, we think. Ivanusic is probably going to take that place. You've got Man City's. You've got some quality there, haven't you? Obviously, this is probably, let's be honest, going to be Modric's. I know he's just signed a 1-year contract extension at Real Madrid after winning the Champions League again there for the 6th time. Will it be a 7th next year? I don't know. But Modric, probably his last tournament for Croatia, you'd think. It'd be incredible if he does another one. But you got Modric there, who's on all set pieces and everything like that. Kramaric up top will be on pens, I think. He's definitely going to start through the middle. You got Kovacic. We know what he can do from seeing him in the Premier League. Gvardiol, we've seen what he can do, scoring 4 goals in 6 games or something towards the end for Man City. Something crazy. And yeah, the rest of the team kind of is pretty clear, we think. I know Sosa has had a bit of a dodgy time in the past for Croatia, but we think he's going to take that left back slot. I don't have any Croatia players in my team. I just don't know who I'd pick. Modric is obviously superb, but takes some midfield space, and he's only plays bit part now for Real Madrid. He comes on for the last 20 minutes, and I just don't know. Kramaric, again, it's a group that it's not like they're going to storm the group, or maybe they will. But they've got Italy to play, they've got Spain to play. I just don't know who I'd back. Even players, Gvardiol is obviously quality, but are Croatia going to concede goals? Probably. They are always very decent at these tournaments, aren't they? So maybe once again, I'm underestimating them. But for me, I just don't know who I'd go for. There's not one obvious player that you'd pick. So for me, I'm going to miss Croatia. But that's the predicted lineup. So hopefully that's helpful for some. Let's move on to Italy. Now, I think Lewis, you can see there if you're looking on the YouTube that Lewis has put some suggestions of players that, because there's a bit of uncertainty about the Italy lineup. They were playing one formation in qualifying, and then I think it was 4-3-3 they were playing, but there is big rumours, and in the last couple of games, the manager has changed to this sort of 3-4-3 in possession and 5-2-3 or something out of possession or something weird like that, right? So let me just read the team. Donnarumma in goal, of course. Bastoni, Buongiorno, I don't even know how to say that. Darmian, centre-backs. DiMarco, left wing-back. Di Lorenzo, right wing-back. Barella and Jorginho in the middle. Chiesa on the right. Pellegrini on the left. And Scamacca through the middle. Right, a couple of things to say on that. Donnarumma, of course, he's going to be the keeper. Di Lorenzo is the question. Where's he going to play? Because he's definitely going to play. You got DiMarco, great. By the way, he is in my draft. 5 million attacking left wing back. Been great in Serie A this season. He's in my draft. But DiMarco left wing back. Di Lorenzo has been just as good, if not better, and he's going to be right wing back. We're predicting him he's going to be right wing back for Italy, like he plays for Napoli. He is 5.5 million, so he's 0.5 more than DiMarco. However, there are rumours, and here's the point, that he might play right centre back for Italy. In which case, Cambiasso will probably go right wing-back. But if Di Lorenzo does play right wing-back, then Darmian will probably play centre-back, that right centre-back role. So a bit of confusion there. But basically, Di Lorenzo is going to start. So if you want him, get him. He is going to start. It's just where he starts. The issue with Di Lorenzo, and the reason I don't have him, is I think he's about as good an asset as DiMarco on the left, and DiMarco on the left is 0.5 cheaper. So that's why I've gone DiMarco and not Di Lorenzo, just the financial side of it. They should be priced the same. To be honest, really, Di Lorenzo is fine at 5.5. DiMarco should be 5.5, I think. Jorginho and Barella, look, we don't know who's on penalties for Italy. There's rumours it could be Jorginho, in which case, for £5 million, he is an absolute bargain in midfield. He could get ball recovery points. We've seen him get assists before. You know, he's going to be just the kind of anchor of that midfield, ticking things along. And if you say he's on penalties as well, at £5 million to free up funds to spend elsewhere, you'd do worse than having a player like him and a player like Rodri. Even though they're defensive mids, if they're both on pens, how can you go wrong with that, right? But that's to be confirmed. You know, we don't know that yet. Let's watch the friendlies. Let's listen to what people say. Let's speak to Italy fans. Comment below if you know who's on penalties instead of that. Some people have suggested it might be Chiesa, but we'll see. Scamacca is probably going to take that centre forward role. It probably would have gone to Retegui, or however you say his name, but Scamacca's had such a good end to the season with Atalanta that we think he's going to take that position. He's scored a good amount of goals. He's done really, really well there. And, you know, he's just won the Europa League and et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I think Scamacca is going to take that position up front. And then Pellegrini and Chiesa either side. So, Italy, look, again, this group I'm cautious of. But if there was going to be a player that I'd take from this team, it would be, it would be DiMarco. Definitely. But potentially Jorginho is on my list of players considering as well. But I just want to find out if he's on penalties. If he's not on penalties, no, I'm not going to have him. But if he definitely is, I think he's a definite, option to save some money to get a starting player for Italy on penalties. Is just for $5 million, absolute steal. So that's Italy. Now we come to Albania. So Albania, a few things to say. Obviously, Italy, Croatia, Spain. We've got a bunch of names there and players in a country that we know a lot about. Albania may be slightly less known, but they've got some players who play for top clubs. They've obviously qualified, so they've been in semi-decent form at least. Let's have a look at some of this. So let me just read it. Berisha in goal. Mitaj left back. Demi City centre-back with Ismajli. I'm absolutely butchering these pronunciations, as you know, but apologies. Hysaj, right back. Aslani, centre mid with Bajrami and Ramadani. And then left wing Seferi, right wing Asani, and up front Broja. We know Broja from Chelsea and from the Premier League. So it's those of you who watch the Premier League, right? But there's a few others that have had really decent seasons and play for top clubs. So I mean, Mitaj, he's going to be the left back. He started 7 of their qualifiers. You've got Hisaj, right back, who plays for Lazio, helped them finish second this season in Serie A. You've got for goodness sake. Dimitsiti, that's centre-back, right? DJIMISITI, right? He's $4.5 million, and he's a Europa League winner with Atalanta. So, not bad, right? Not bad at all. Ramadani, 7.7 ball recoveries average in qualifying in centre-mid there. 5.5 million. He's an option. And then Aslani is played a part at Inter Milan this season, and we know what Broja is. So, look, this is the team. Again, FPL Reaction put this together at FPL Reaction on Twitter, on X, whatever it's called. So yeah, are we going to be picking team players though from Albania? I mean, if you're Albanian, you're probably going to have a favourite and pick them, I'm sure. But most people probably won't be picking, particularly because they're in a group with Italy, Croatia and Spain. So all 3 of their games, they're not going to be the favourites. All 3 of their games, they're going to be expected to lose. But with teams like Albania, there's always a team that shocks us in a tournament, and maybe it'll be Albania. So maybe we'll be coming back to this after, the first game or the second game and be going, right, let's get on Broja, let's get on Ramadani, because Albania are absolutely flying. Kind of like, Hungary were the team that did that in the last Euros, in Euro 2020, when everyone thought they were going to get blown over by Germany, by France, and that didn't happen. So look, Albania, are we going to be picking them? Probably not. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you've got any suggestions, if you've got any things you disagree with, I doubt this will be 100% correct, but please put in the comments below. Tell me what you want me to cover as we approach the tournament. Please join our league. Please like and subscribe. And if you're listening on the podcast, please give us a little 5-star review. I'll be back very soon with some more content. Thank you very much, and good luck picking your teams. Keep tinkering.